Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 530, capturing your slash the straw man. Definitely appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. If this is your first episode, appreciate you for tuning in and definitely look forward to sharing a bunch of value with you. For people that have been listening for years, you all know that you've probably either heard Trust Christian and Vote talk about these matters before or stayed away from them. And because of consultations, because of the climate of the market, we're going to have the conversation about this capturing the straw man. And, that's very important because we've had this for years now where people ask us about this subject matter and we just have to have the conversation about it. So, we're going to have the conversation today, ladies and gentlemen, about capturing your slash the straw man. It's interesting because we talked about this with a trustee prior to doing this episode, and we definitely want to say if you want to reach out for trustee training, you can reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. But we're going to hop into it like we were. So, talking to the trustee about the term straw man, they laughed and they said, well, what is that? Something from the Wizard of Oz. So this is one of the first things that people have to be okay with is that these type of terms don't really exist in the financial world. These are terms that are pseudo terms that are supposed to symbolize or show significance to a entity or a legal construct as they call it. And so capturing the straw man for years was called the redemption process because this was groups of people that have purported to gain control of what they call the straw man. So we're going to talk about it today on this episode. It's not to offend anybody. It's not to say, oh, this doesn't, this doesn't, this doesn't. It's not about that. This doesn't, ladies and gentlemen. The term straw man, we have to be able to have people to move fluidly in financial markets. This is dealing with finance. The straw man is dealing with a legal entity. They say that they're trying to capture the social security number or trying to capture some type of security instrument that the government has issued. And so this is when we talk about the capturing, this is the terms. Now, we're not giving legal advice. We're not giving financial advice. We're having a conversation in the public about things that are being purported and that are being people are being sold bags of goods. We have people reach out to us all the time. Oh, I spent thousands of dollars on this information and it hasn't worked. Exactly. Thousands of dollars, ladies and gentlemen, and they'll say it hasn't worked. So by them saying that it hasn't worked, ladies and gentlemen, we know clearly what's going on. What's going on is that this whole capturing and straw man redemption process follows a strong belief system of there's something that you can use outside of yourself to save yourself. This is the information that's purported. Oh, you got to have the paperwork. The paperwork is the what's going to help you. Or really, it's almost like people try to say, well, the only reason you're not in your own right mind or freedom is because of the paperwork. Promise you, ladies and gentlemen, far from it. The paperwork. Oh man, you gotta do administrative process. These people say, oh, for years. What are they trying to get out of speeding tickets? Let's talk. We talking about getting out of speeding tickets. What are we talking about? Getting out of a speeding ticket. We talking about, oh, I don't. What are you trying to get rid of? See, when we talk about the straw man mentality, capturing your straw man, people say, "Oh, I do want to capture this straw man." We were sitting there talking to the trustee. Once again, see, the trustee understands trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. They understand this philosophy. They understand this thought process. It's trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. That's what it is. It's not, oh, well, I'm supposed to want to own something. I'm trying to own my government name because they call it the government name. Oh, the government name's the straw man name. That's what when people say, oh, I still don't know what the straw man is. You can say, oh, the straw man is the government name. That's what people call it. Certain communities actually call it the government name. Oh, it's the government name. The government name? Okay. Oh, that's not the name that I created. It's on paper. It's in all capitals letters. So if you're trying to capture it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the conversation here where if you're trying to capture it, oh, because I'm the living flesh being. Isn't that what they say? I'm the living flesh being. I'm trying to capture the dead entity, my estate. I'm trying to be in control of my estate while I'm living. Use some biblical verse to justify the means to an end. Capturing your estate. That's what we could call it. But they want to say it's capturing the straw man or it's capturing the government name. And in all actuality, it's just being in control of the estate. Instead, they're trying to capture it. They're trying to recapture it like it left their clutches. Like if they don't do something, it won't exist. But most people's estate is not set up in perpetuity, so it won't outlive them. So yes, it's gonna die when they die. And that's the facts. It's okay. Capturing the straw man. Well, I'm trying to capture the equity that the government's getting from my labor. Because they created this paper money, and the only real money is labor. Oh, really? Gold's not money? People use that as a way to exchange around the world. Even if we said labor is not the value of currency, if we use gold and silver and other precious metals, which we do as a human race, then labor cannot be the only form and medium of exchange. Oh, well, if I work, then that means that the government shouldn't have access to my labor first, because that means that I'm working for the government, which it does. Fair enough. So is that the case? Oh, how could they capture anything? Well, they're utilizing their system. What system are you utilizing? The straw man system? Oh man, I'm trying to capture the straw man system. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to capture the straw man system. The straw man system is this system of, if you want to call it a decay or whatever you want to call it, constructs. Okay, that's fine. Still trying to capture the straw man. It's saying you. What do you want to own it? Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Do when people say I want to capture the straw man, are you trying to own it? You. Because remember, in legal environments, quote unquote, in financial environments, that's all it is entities. So who owns these entities? Oh, people do. Right. The only difference is some people know how to make sure that they're not involved. But people want to own it, right? What about the bigger companies? Doesn't somebody own it? But then if you own it, you're liable. That's what happens. But did they say you shouldn't own the name? No, they say you should own your name. Own the government name. You got to just use lowercase. That's how it lets them know that a human is supposed to own it. Oh, really? Did you hear what you said? Because when you make the claim that the human owns, claims, credits over debts that the legal entity that the legal entity has, how does that look? These are the conversations that people reach out to the vault and they say, oh, I'm trying to capture my birth certificate. I didn't create the birth certificate, but I got to capture it because it's being used as an adhesion contract without my permission in black markets. Fair enough. My signature's out there, and this and adhesion contracts are making money because of me. Fair enough. That's fair. But do you understand banking? Do you know how to speak banking language in order to capture what you say you're looking to capture? Oh, I'm looking to capture the interest from this. I'm looking at the company's got enough money off the interest alone off my signature. This is what they say, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if they reach out and say that these companies are, we don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We hear a lot of things that come from the consultations and people reaching out and capturing your straw man. This has been something that people have reached out for years about. Oh, this straw man, this straw man. People have whole channels dedicated to this information. And one thing we could say is this is definitely a black market information, no doubt about it. When we talk about capturing it, we're having realistic conversations with the people that reach out to us about it. Oh, so do you own it, or is it one of those situations where you're just looking to control it? Are you looking to control things? Or are you looking to own things? These are the conversations that we're having with trustees and people that reach out to the vault. If you'd like to get a consultation or reach out, Christian@trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian@trustchristian.com. And so we definitely, you know, capturing your straw man. People might as well say, "Oh, I'm capturing my government name. Oh, I'm capturing this and that." And think about it, but are you capturing it from a control perspective, or how are you capturing it? People say, "I'm capturing it. I'm trying to redeem the straw man." A lot of sub information out there for sure. Definitely a lot of misinformation out there. Can definitely easily be misled with the information out there if you're not super financially astute. Those things are interesting to see when you see people that uh, they fall into a situation where people are sharing with them financial information, and they're getting financial information that may or may not be applicable to where they are, and really what their goals are. You think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's like sharing over the internet, oh, what is it? You getting out of speeding tickets or something? Like, ladies and gentlemen, we hear people reach out, literally say, oh, you should not have to do this, that, and the third. And there is something about a speeding ticket. Like, what are you talking about? If you were speeding, you might get a ticket. Like, it's not to say, oh, it should be applied, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. The fee that they're charging, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. This is not the conversation of uh, is it right or wrong. The conversation is people are saying, well, if I capture a straw man, I'll no longer have to deal with that. And then they almost say I become stateless, not literally the vote, but they'll say, oh, I'll just rather be in a stateless position. Really? People are okay with being in stateless positions nowadays? Interesting. But the information that's being purported over the internet, from what we hear, capturing the straw man is like one of those, like, it's been around for over 10 plus years. It's been around for 20 plus years. Just this whole sovereignty movement. Oh, I'm sovereign. What are you talking about? Like, you're in a country. We're not saying that the lines aren't artificial. We're not saying, like countries divide their lines based off their military. That's how it goes. Like, you don't see. That's how it is. From what we can see, countries dividing their countries by militaries. And so some militaries are overreaching. They're in other jurisdictions, but as you can see, the militaries define the jurisdictions. Capturing a straw man? How's they going to help someone in the jurisdiction that they're in? We want to know. Oh man, I just want to be in control of what? Because really, they don't always say they want to be in control of it. They say they want to own it. They want to own their name. They don't want anyone making money off their name. They don't want anyone making any interest off their name. They don't want anyone to have quote unquote ownership of the name. No one should be able to put a charge against a name that doesn't have an injured party. Fair. Having a real conversation when we talk about that. But when we talk about non injured parties and we're talking about civil actions, definitely a different category, because we're talking business now. We're not talking personal. Injured party, you're going to see an injured party. If it's no injured party, we're talking corporate, we're talking commercial. That's the system, ladies and gentlemen. Capturing a straw man, are you capturing it commercially, or is it captured personally? So these are the differences that we talk to the people that reach out to the vault and they ask these questions, and people that are listening and stuff over like this over the internet, like, man, this discharge stuff over the internet or this stuff over the internet is supposed to be able to help me out. I'm supposed to be able to put a contract in place and everything's gonna be like what? We know people that say, oh, I didn't put that contract in place and they still feel like they can get out of things. That's fine. Nevertheless, people say, oh, I'm trying to capture a straw man on what? A trademark agreement? We have, ladies and gentlemen, conversations, whether it's high level, low level, conversations with people about doing that. It's what's wrong with trademarking things? Nothing. It's just who owns the trademark. Capturing a straw man is like capturing a trademark. Who's capturing the trademark? Who's capturing the asset actually? They're trying to capture the asset. Right. Well, now we see that they're capturing the asset. So when we say, oh, it's about capturing the asset, it seems as though the internet has made it super complicated by saying it's the straw man. And by them saying that it's the straw man, a lot of people, it seems as though they get led astray by, uh, they get led astray, ladies and gentlemen. We get people reach out to the vault all the time saying about these things like, oh man, I want to get out of this and get out of that because this, no one should be able to control me. What do you mean someone be able to control you? No one's controlling you. But people, they reach out and they say those type of things. And it's because they didn't create the system that they're operating in and they're not maybe like fully comfortable with the system, but they are aware that the system is something that they can use, and so they just haven't figured it completely out yet, and that's fair. But capturing a straw man is like capturing a trademark. It's all the same thing. It's not about bringing charges against a random name. It's about having that name be in a position where who owns it, who controls it, how things are being managed, uh, things like that, ladies and gentlemen. Those things actually matter. More so about the management of anything. Some people say, hopefully this conversation not too far above people's head. Well, if you say capturing a straw man, once again, that straw man term is not used in the public traditionally. It's used in very subcult type environments, but we still get quite a few, and there's quite a few people that reach out over the internet. Like, there's whole channels built around this type of subject matter. So we're addressing the fact that capturing your straw man. Some people say, "Oh man, is it a waste of time?" Like some people are literally gonna argue the channel and say, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's what are you talking about? The government's in control." And it's like, are you using a fear pitch or what's going on here again? So if it's not a fear pitch of the government's in control and this, that, and the third, then it's a conversation of vehicles to your destinations, vehicles to your goals. Everything is a business vehicle, straw man or not. What is the vehicle that you're going to use to get to your goals? And so those are the conversations that we like to have. And if you like to have those with us at the vault, if you want someone that can actually, consult and have those conversations, feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. But we look forward to hearing from you all. We definitely look forward to coming with some quality episodes here over the next few episodes. So definitely be tuned in live and listen to the replay. Hit the notification button. Definitely reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all. Peace and joy.